It's 7:11 on Sunrise. Well, it is a brave mum who criticises another's parenting skills. This photo of radio personality Jackie O feeding her baby has prompted a public row. New South Wales Families Minister Prue Goward said by feeding her baby while crossing a street, Jackie O had endangered her child. The former Sex Discrimination Commissioner even compared the incident to Michael Jackson's infamous baby dangling moment. However, the new Commissioner and a federal minister have told Ms Goward she's wrong to criticise Jackie O. So, did she do anything wrong? And why does a mum's parenting style provoke such comments? Sally-Anne McCormack is a parenting expert, psychologist and mum of 4. Good morning to you, Sally-Anne. Now, this was a story last week. A lot of people talked about it. And over the weekend, Prue Goward's sort of thrown a grenade into it. What do you think of what she said?
Look, I'm gobsmacked that this has become such a huge story. I had a look at Prue Goward's website and it actually says that she stands for strong families and community spirit and for every one of us taking responsibility for our lives. It seems that Jackie O was doing that. She was being responsible for her life and her baby's life. She was going to work, as I understand it. Her baby was hungry, so she fed the baby as she walked. That's what busy mums do. We do the very best that we can, and I don't actually see an issue with this at all.
Do you think she was sort of trying to talk about the paid parenting allowance and people being forced to go back to work earlier and somehow it got confused?
Oh, look, I certainly do. I think that it was obviously a platform to get out there and talk about some particular issue. I think the issue that we can be talking about and perhaps should be talking about right now is child neglect, and I certainly don't mean anything to do with Jackie O because I don't think that she did anything wrong. But we have like 300,000 reports of child neglect. We have about 100,000 investigated to the end, and there's about 50,000 substantiated every year. And we know, at least here in Victoria, but I'm sure across the country, there are overworked and under-resourced child protection workers, and that's something that we could be talking about rather than someone who fed their baby as they walked.
Yeah, look, it has sparked a lot of response on the soapbox. Overnight, Tony from Queensland said maybe Prue's forgotten what it was like to have a screaming baby. It's no wonder some new mums feel depressed, confused and under so much pressure to get their child rearing right when you have notable women like her judging them. It does feel like that when you're a first-time mum and sometimes you're snowed under, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Parenting is filled with guilt. You know, that's what we do. We love our kids. We want the very best for them. You know, we do what we have to do. I've got 4 children. I had one at school, one at preschool, a toddler and a baby, and my baby was fed wherever I was. If it was in a car park, you know, wherever it might have been, the baby had to be fed somewhere. I wasn't going to neglect my child, and you know, wherever I was. We're not talking about Jackie O, you know, leaving her child screaming and crying because she didn't want to feed her. We have her feeding her child. She had to get to wherever she was going, and that's, you know, we're crucifying a mum who's being, you know, someone who's responsible. So leave her alone.
Yeah, I think a lot of people support you. Sally-Anne McCormack, thanks very much for your insight this morning.
Pleasure.